Backstory with Tori Bailey. I wanted to share with you guys tonight a couple of events that are coming up for us. First of all, we're on the 5-day countdown to the release of Love Made from Scratch, the final installment of the Coming Home series. That book will be launching next Tuesday on Valentine's Day and will be available on Amazon and also through my website, readtoribailey.com. So that's one of the huge events that we have that is coming up on our calendar. Also, next Saturday, I will have the pleasure of getting to visit with the wonderful ladies, the Bookends Book Club up in Dahlonega, Georgia, at the Old Schoolhouse Antique Shop. We will be discussing Love Made from Scratch, and also I want us to give them a shout out and say a huge thank you because they did agree to be the group of beta readers for Love Made from Scratch, and I loved all of the feedback that all of the ladies gave me, and so I'm looking forward to getting to visit and catch up with all of you guys up in Dahlonega, Georgia, and like I said, I'll be with them next Saturday. Also, next Friday at 11 a.m., I will be interviewed by Doug Durrington. He as a guest on his show, The Prologue. It is streamed live over the internet, and you'll be able to visit our Facebook page and the website to click on the link to listen live. And if you're not able to, we will be posting the podcast on our website and on our Facebook page. We will be discussing Love Made from Scratch, some of the secrets and behind the scenes of the development and the writing of Love Made from Scratch. Also coming up in March, I am going to be one of the regional writers at the Dahlonega Literary Festival. That date will be posted up on our website and also on our Facebook page in our calendar of events. This will be my second opportunity of getting to be a part of the regional writers section at the Dahlonega Literary Festival. And I'm looking really forward to getting to participate this year, especially since I am launching Love Made from Scratch and it was set up in Dahlonega. So I'm pretty excited that, I'll be getting to talk about and meet and greet a lot of the readers up in that area in March. Again, like I said, all of these dates will be published on my website and with links to either podcasts or availability to listen live to the interviews. And also, gosh, I'm so sorry. That bird just flew out of its nest. I lost my train of thought. It'll come back in a second. But anyway, those are just some of the exciting up-and-coming events that we have for Tori, for me, and for all of my books. Love Made from Scratch, Coming Home, A Second Chance at Goodbye, and Ethel's Song. Now tonight I wanted to kind of share with you two characters, or especially one character from Love Made from Scratch, and that's the character Jess. And Jess originally when Jess's character first came up on the drawing board for me, originally she was going to appear in Ethel's Song. And she was going to basically be a very minor character in Ethel's Song. But at the time, Thomas had not yet also found a mate. And I was going to kind of maybe do like a very small, very, very small storyline where he and Jess would connect in Ethel's Song. But as it turned out, I really didn't need Jess's character in Ethel's Song, so I just put her kind of like in the back burner, or on the back burner, and knew that eventually I would find a place that I could use her character. And as it turns out, I did use her in the book Love Made from Scratch. And Jess's character is very unique in the fact that, she befriends Thomas and kind of helps Thomas on his journey of healing from the loss of Dee, his wife. Now, one thing about Jess, and I pulled a lot, when I created Jess's character, I pulled a lot of personal history to her. And one of the things is Jess is hearing impaired. And one of the reasons why I did that is because I wanted to bring a character into the book that people would be able to see the struggles that sometimes those with a disability may have in being accepted in what we call the norm of society. So how I related to that personally is my brother is hearing impaired, and so I grew up with Charlie, and in the 1970s, things were so much different for the hearing impaired community than they are now, with all of the technology that we have, and the way we communicate now is pretty much the written word, and either through texting or Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook. Used to, it was really hard to communicate with Charles unless we had special devices like a TTY that we could call him and talk to him on the phone through the teletype device. But now that we can now text, we can do FaceTime and sign with each other. A lot of the barriers have been broken down because of that, and so that's one of the reasons I wanted to pull from something very personal. There's Love Made from Scratch is a very, very personal story for me on a lot of different levels, and one of them was working in the storyline Jess being hearing impaired. Now, one of the things that Jess does is she does pottery. And again, I pulled from a personal experience on that, in the fact that my husband makes pottery. And I go to a lot of pottery shows with him. I personally don't throw pottery, but he comes to me with a piece and asks me a lot of times, what do I think, or give him feedback on pottery. And that's the reason why you see the pottery pieces here tonight in front of me, is because in talking about Jess, I kind of wanted to also bring in, how she, one of the things that she does is she makes pottery, and bring in this, I am so sorry, I got tongue-tied there again. The North Georgia Pottery and some of the traditions of North Georgia potters. Jess works with Aunt Bunny, who is her mother's sister. Jess and Cass's mom is Dixie. And so Jess and Aunt Bunny runs a local pottery shop on the square in Dahlonega called Wild Hair Pottery. And if some of you have noticed my Facebook page this past week, my profile picture changed to the logo of Wild Hair Pottery. And that's the reason why, is because Wild Hair Pottery plays a very, very important role in Jess's life and in the store in Love Made from Scratch. A couple of very important scenes happens in the Wild Hair Pottery shop. And this particular jug right here actually was not made by my husband. It was made by a potter up in South Carolina, Marvin Bailey, no relations. Trust me, the first time we met, we did the family genealogy and figured out that there's not a crossover in the Bailey families. But he made this wonderful jug. It's a regular thrown jug, and then he cut it out, and then he put a family of black bears inside. There's two black bears, and one of them's holding a honey pot. This particular jug makes it into the storyline in Love Made from Scratch, in one of the important scenes that happens in Wild Hair Pottery. Now this other jug here, my husband and I have named him Big Blue. My husband actually threw this jug, and this jug will never be put up for sale, for the simple reason is this is his logo jug. We use this for his logo for any of his advertising and business cards and things like that. And the bottom of this jug, if you'll notice, the clay is very, very red. That is actually Georgia clay. It's from Middle Georgia, from the area called Lizella, Georgia. And this clay is actually called Lizella clay. Lizella, Georgia is down around Macon, Georgia. And so if you ever, if you guys or anybody is interested in pottery and you ever go and look at your pottery and you turn it up, you always want to look at the bottom. The bottom will kind of give you an idea of what the type of clay is that the pot was made from. But one of the reasons why I brought this piece into night to talk to you guys about and the character Jess is because one of the things that Jess does is not only does she do kind of the novelty pieces like the bear jug and the functional pieces of pottery, but she also does traditional face jugs. And face jugs is traditional to the North Georgia area. There's a couple of theories of how the face jugs became originated. There is some research that kind of indicates that face jugs came over during the slave periods when the slaves were brought over into the United States. Another theory behind the face jugs is the face jugs, and I have to compliment my husband because it took me a long time to like face jugs, and there's another story behind why I suddenly found a liking for face jugs. But he doesn't make his face jugs really, really scary, like some face jugs can be made. I mean, some of them can look pretty demonic. But anyway, Jess makes face jugs in the book. And going back to the second theory of how the origin of face jugs came about is back during the time period that pottery was a very functional part of life, like Rubbermaid is for us nowadays. A lot of things were stored in pottery, and that included chemicals that could be harmful if ingested. So a lot of times people would make face jugs to look very scary to kind of deter children away from the face jugs. So I always kind of jokingly say that the face jugs was probably the precursor to the Mr. Yuck sticker. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about when I mention the Mr. Yuck sticker, that's a sticker that you could put on things, household products or chemicals to let kids know that that was dangerous and that they didn't need to ingest it or swallow it or do anything to it. So that's kind of the history a little bit about the face jugs. And like I said, again, when you write about what you know. So I brought in the story in creating the character Jess. I brought in two things that I knew, which is the hardships and the difficulties that my brother has experienced in his life from being hearing impaired, some of the stereotypes that he encounters because of him being deaf. You know, a lot of people sometimes can't see past his inability to hear. And another thing too is I wanted to bring in and give Jess something that was unique to the North Georgia area, which is throwing pottery and bringing in some of the North Georgia pottery traditions like the face jugs. So that's a little bit of the backstory of Jess and how she came about. Like I said, she was originally developed in mine as a very, very, very minor character in ETHEL'S song. But as it turns out, I'm glad I saved her because she plays a huge role in Love Made from Scratch and in her relationship with Thomas. And she is going to prove to a lot of people how strong she is as a person. And you'll get to experience some of the struggles and hardships that she has to fight for her independence, to have what we call a normal life, which is to be able just to have a home, a family, and a husband, and a career. So anyway, that's the story for tonight, for the backstory. I hope you guys get to tune in next Friday at 11 o'clock and listen to me with Doug Daldrin on the prologue. Again, like I said, those links will be up on Facebook as well as on the website. And definitely make sure that you mark your calendar for Tuesday, February the 14th. It's not a hard date to remember. It's Valentine's Day, a day of love. And that is going to be the official launch date of Love Made from Scratch. Make sure you go over to Amazon and get your copies ordered, or you can order a copy through the website, readtoribailey.com, And I'll also send you a signed copy if you order through the website. Also, we released a new promo today for Love Made from Scratch called Have You Been Kissed? Definitely check that video out. It's full of a lot of passion, and it's actually taken from a scene in Love Made from Scratch with Cass. And I'll talk a little bit more next week about Cass. Until then, as my mama used to say, if the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, I will see you guys next Thursday. God bless and have a great weekend and be safe.